Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up. It got shoved. Right?
What's up, Spartans fans? It's the 69th episode of the Spartans Fans podcast, coming to you on Wednesday, the first day of October. Probably be Thursday by the time you listen to this, or Friday for some of our other listeners. It's, of course, your boy Willy, joined by Travis and Nicky, and a very special guest coming to us from the Common Fan podcast, Matt Owens. Matt, it's a pleasure to have you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to it. A big matchup this week for both teams. Both teams coming off a bye with a loss in the previous week. Nebraska's at the hands of Michigan, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the Michigan State Spartans falling to USC in that late one out west. But before we jump into everything, we'll obviously preview the game with Matt. He'll be a great voice on the Nebraska football team. Then we'll have our usual segments after that. But, Matt, I want to get an idea of where Nebraska fans are at. 30,000-foot view. You know, we've got tons to get into on the Michigan State game, but I want to get an idea of where are the fans' heads at? Where do we stand on Matt Rule? Just give it to me straight.
Yeah. I think obviously everybody wanted to get that Michigan win because we've kind of just been waiting for, the Matt Rule signature win. Like, we haven't really had that yet. We've kind of the wins that he's had are more of, hey, we beat that team that we were supposed to beat kind of deal. And, any college football fan has probably seen the stat. I think we're 0 in our last 28 against ranked teams. Like, not just like top 10, like the 23rd and 24th and 25th ranked teams. Like, we just haven't been able to get one of those. I think it's since like 2016 or something crazy. So there's just kind of this like, everybody's like salivating to get that big win. And I think a lot of people, including yours truly, thought it was going to come, at the hands of Michigan and their interim coach, Coach Biff, and a true freshman quarterback, albeit very, very talented. Like, it just seemed like, everything was in our favor to have it happen. And it didn't. Certainly a lot of disappointment, I think, among Husker Nation. But I think the majority of Husker fans, after a day or two of reflection, are like, okay, wait a second. Like, the trajectory of the program's way better than it's been in years. We've got a stud quarterback that, the national media likes to just talk about him looking and cosplaying Mahomes, but he's actually a pretty good quarterback, like really good. Better than I think most national media are giving him credit for whatever weird reason. Mm-hmm. And then we've got some weapons at receiver, which Nebraska football has almost never had. Like a really good receiver room, and which is kind of weird. We've always been loaded at running back. It seemed like, well, at least maybe not the last few years, but that's kind of been our history. So we're a little lack a little depth at running back, but I mean, we've got Dana freaking Holgerson calling plays. So if we needed to switch up and just go full blown air raid, we have the capability to do that if need be. I don't want it to be that when we play in the Big Ten. You got to be able to run the ball in November. But that's been mentioned by me and a few others at least this week. They're like, hey, if we got to just start chucking it around, we got the guys to do it. So the general, I think, attitude of most Husker fans is we're still positive. We're looking at the schedule ahead, and it looks still fairly favorable for us to make some noise this year.
Nice. Yeah, Nebraska, the team I've always had a soft spot for. Nick and Travis knows, but both my grandparents on my dad's side went to Nebraska.
No kidding.
Born and raised in Nebraska, so I've always had a soft spot for them. I think it's two programs that are in different ways this week. I mean, not just this week, but in general, in different ways, they're kind of on the same path. Obviously, Michigan State's probably a little. Nebraska's further along in their rebuilding process than Michigan State is, but I think it's both teams are desperate for a big win. I don't know if Nebraska would necessarily view Michigan State at home as a big win, but I think for us where we're at, this would be a big one. But it's in the same breath as you mentioned, feels like we haven't had a big win in ages, right? I mean, I don't think that would be a mischaracterization of where our program's at.
Sure.
But yeah, I think this week presents a very interesting matchup. You're talking about airing it out. This week would probably be the week to do that with our defense.
Yep.
But I was surprised looking at the offensive numbers for Nebraska. I mean, they are second in passing, rushing at 87th, but they're averaging 145 yards a game. I don't think anyone's going to scoff at that. Total yards just under 500, 13th in the FBS, 16th in time of possession, 33 minutes, and basically 45 points a game. I mean, that's pretty good, and that average points probably has a chance of going up on Saturday. But I know you mentioned obviously there's plenty to talk about with the quarterback. We can get into all that, but some of the you mentioned receiver room, which to me kind of surprised as well. What are some of the names receiver-wise we should be looking out for on Saturday?
Really, I think Ja'Cory Barney is a guy that you're going to see, I think, probably getting a lot of touches on Saturday. He wears number 2. He's electric with the ball. I get a little nervous when he gets hit really hard because he's kind of frail, but he's like, I don't know, like the bendy man. Like it seems like he gets his legs bent back and you're like, oh, he's out for the year. It's a torn ACL. And he just pops up and he walks to the sideline. So Barney is electric. And we have 2 really good guys we got in the portal. Dane Key from Kentucky and Isaiah Hunter from Cal. Both of those guys, really, really good receivers. And we kind of talked last year about we got a couple portal guys, Isaiah Nair and Jamal Banks from Texas and Wake Forest. And they were fine. They were serviceable, better than what we had prior, last few years of Frost. But these guys are another level. They're another step up. I mean, they've made some circus catches. And I keep calling Dane Key Mr. Automatic. Like he just seems to find a spot in a zone, and he's not afraid to go over the middle and make a big catch and take a hit. We've got a true freshman too that we're really excited about, Cortez Mills. He's going to be a baller. He's got, I think, maybe a handful of catches this year, but he's coming in, behind those other guys I mentioned. But he's a really good, exciting guy to look forward to. And then Quinn Clark too, son of former Husky running back Ken Clark. He's like 6'6" or 6'7", and just a freak athlete. So he's another one to watch for.
Nice. In the running game, Johnson, I think, is the main guy, right? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that? Looks like the stats are solid. They're not popping off the page, but where do you guys stand in terms of rushing the ball? Is it feels a strength?
We love Emmett. We love Emmett. Emmett's unquestionably like the dude in the backfield. We haven't really had a clear-cut number 2 running back.
Okay.
And that's going way back to like maybe even spring ball. We kind of thought it was going to be Quentin Ives, and it still might be him. But we have another talented true freshman, Isaiah Mosey, who actually is kind of a hybrid player. Recruited as a receiver. They moved him to running back before fall camp. And he really hasn't, he's maybe got a couple of carries on the year, but they've mostly been like throwing swing passes to him and running jet sweeps and stuff like that. More kind of trying to get him on the edge kind of thing. He's really exciting. Mekhi Nelson's in there too. He got a few carries against Michigan. I don't know if he's got the experience yet to really, do much of anything, make a big dent in any games, but I think he'll be all right. He'll be solid, but we still aren't really sure like if Emmett goes down or if Emmett needs a breather for a series. We're kind of your guess is as good as ours on who's going to come in for Emmett and do the job.
Yeah. What's been one of the shortcomings for you guys or an area of concern so far this year?
The big one is the defensive front. They have tons of potential and a couple of really highly recruited guys, but there's not a lot of experience there. Elijah Judy's been around for a long time. We got him in the portal a couple of years ago out of A&M. So he's the most experienced guy, hands down. But Riley Van Poppel's got some potential, but this will be maybe his 5th or 6th start only. And then Williams Waneri, transfer from Mizzou. Again, super talented guy. I think he's a redshirt freshman, if I'm not mistaken. Big-time recruit out of Missouri. And again, huge potential, but a lot of these guys are still kind of learning. And the Michigan game was interesting because it wasn't like they're just pounding it at us the whole game. It was like 3 runs that did all the damage. Yeah. Whereas guys didn't get in the run fits or they weren't playing the gaps properly. And then it was just, Justice Haynes or Marshall had to like break one tackle from a DB and they're gone. Which is disappointing too, because really a strong suit on our defense is the defensive backfield. That's where our most experience is. And I think a lot of our defensive talent. I mean, that's the thing. We've held every team we've played, we've held them under like 100 and some yards passing. Like our passing defense has been unbelievable. Yeah. And, we kind of scoffed at that, but now we look back and you see what Brendan Sorsby at Cincinnati's done since we played. And we only gave up 69 passing yards to Sorsby. Yeah. And he's thrown for like 300 every game since then. So that's a little feather in our cap, but, Husker fans are smart enough. We know that we got to do better on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Yeah. When I took a quick look at the game, this week, I saw 11.5, 10.5, whatever the spread's at. I thought there was too many points. And then I saw some of your offensive stats I wasn't totally surprised about, but the defensive stats, only giving up 250 yards a game, which is 14th in the FBS. You mentioned the pass defense only giving up 75 yards a game. That's first in the FBS. The rush defense, I think you kind of mentioned it there. That's probably not the strongest part, but eighth in the country in third down defense and 21st in the red zone. So, coming from our perspective, we don't really do anything well on defense. So I'm not necessarily hoping for Nebraska to get too many stops against you guys, but I was hoping we could keep, a shootout. We could keep it close, but looking at some of these defensive stats, I'm definitely concerned.
What's the total in this game? What's the over/under?
That's a good question. Let me pull it.
I don't know what it is, but I kind of want to say hammer the over. What is it?
Looks like 53.5.
Yeah,
I think we're going over. I mean, if you guys can run the ball, and that's the other thing too, where Sorsby killed us wasn't passing; it was him running it. Like, and he had like 93 yards rushing, and a big chunk of that was just, they'd go 4 or 5 wide since he would, and then he'd drop back, no one's open, and he'd just take off, and there's nobody, like there's nobody spying him or whatever, and so. That's been early on. That was like, okay, we got to figure out what we're going to do against a running quarterback. And then, Michigan happens. Like, oh, wait a minute. Now we got to figure out how to stop the run, period.
Yeah.
So if Childs can spread it out and get loose, it could be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like the over-under is actually 47.5. So even
hammer it.
Bigger.
It says 53 or whatever. Yeah.
The guys on my pod give me a hard time and call me a degenerate gambler. I'm really not, but we'll keep up with the shtick and just say everybody hammer the over.
There we go. Yeah, it opened at 53.5. Okay. Most of the big money coming in on the under.
I mean, that just emphasizes the over even more.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. ESPN predictor, and I don't know how much weight any of you put into this, but has a 86% chance of Nebraska winning.
That seems a little high.
Yeah. Okay. That makes me feel better.
We don't fare very well in Lincoln, though. We're 1-6 all time in Lincoln, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right? It feels like it. I mean, it feels like it should be better than that.
You know what?
You guys won the last 2, I think. The last 2 against us.
Yeah. They haven't played in Lincoln since 2018 , though.
Oh, so okay. That was Frost's first year. That was like one of his biggest wins.
That was the really ugly 9-6 game.
I remember that. 9-6. Some really close games actually. 2023 was 2017 Spartans. 2021 was 23-20 Spartans. 2018 was 9-6 Cornhuskers. 2015 39-38 Cornhuskers.
That was when he stepped out of bounds.
Was that the out of bounds? I was just gonna say that game always
Brandon
comes
Riley.
to my mind.
That was our senior year.
Hosed.
That one really hurt.
Yeah, it looked like the right call to me, guys.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
To your point, Willie, the last 5 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 5 points or less.
Yeah, it's like since we joined the Big Ten, it seems like it's always a classic game. Nebraska and Michigan State. I mean, there was the one in East Lansing with Taylor Martinez, and I think there was like a bogus call in that one too. What's Denard? Who's the DB?
Yeah.
Oh,
Denard.
Yeah, and he got a pick six, got called back, and
I specifically remember that game.
I remember being at that game.
I remember being very, very angry leaving that stadium.
Yeah.
I feel like the refs are always getting involved in these games. I really can only think of 2 times, but that sticks out for sure.
You know what's funny about that is we have this running theory that there's a seedy, like, backroom group called the College Football Industrial Complex, and they're just for the last 50 years they've been plotting ways to throw games in not in Nebraska's favor. Like, they're always out to screw Nebraska. Like, there's like there's like big, events where you're like, oh, that was them for sure. Like Penn State got, caught it out of bounds in '82, and there's all these other ones that it's like, okay, there's something more at play here than just the way the ball's bouncing.
Right.
I can see that.
Yeah. Travis or Nicky, do you guys have any questions for Matt? I feel like I've been the only one talking.
Yeah, you kind of hit on all the ones that I had, honestly. But
You took care of it, Willy. How about, can I ask you guys?
Please.
So for any Husker fans, any common fans that are listening, we know about Aiden Childs, but we don't get a chance to watch. And there's so many damn teams in the Big Ten now. It's so hard to watch them all. Who else can we watch for on offense or defense that the Spartans have that are going to be some playmakers on Saturday?
Defense, your answer is as good as mine. That one's a little scary.
Yeah.
Offense, Nick Marsh is a star player, our receiver. We call him Megatron, number 6. He's probably the best player on our team. He should be almost 100% healthy. It sounds like he could be the one thing that hurts your guys' pass numbers this week, is he can make some big catches. And we have a really deep receiver room in general. Amari Kelly's great. Krishan McCray is fast, and we have a lot of guys off the bench who can just make an impact as well.
Okay. You got a former Husker that I was surprised to hear still on your team, Alante Brown. It's like I made a joke that he might have his grandkids showing up at practice to watch. He's probably got a mortgage and all kinds of stuff by now.
Yeah, he's hurt right now. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he had a couple big returns against Boston College and then got knocked out of that game, I think it was.
Yeah, for the season.
We were disappointed to lose him. We thought he had some good potential.
It's been hard to keep on the field.
That's what I've read.
Yeah.
You can see the speed and like the potential, but he doesn't stick around. Like, he doesn't get in the game as much as you would think he would.
Yeah.
And last year he had some fumbling problems. So it was, and then running backs are a couple sophomore guys from Texas. They've been Mekhi Frazier, number 5, and Brandon Tullis, number 7. They had a couple good games to start the year, and they kind of disappeared the past 2. I think they played better against USC than they did against Youngstown State, but run game hasn't been great either for us.
Well, if they watched Michigan film, they probably are doing all kinds of inside outside zone, and we'll see how the black shirts can handle it.
Yeah. Our offense.
Oh, your O-line's beat up?
A lot. It's not necessarily beat up. It's just shuffling a lot.
Our starting left tackle, Stanton Ramil, who he's kind of been struggling this year, but he's out for the next month. So we got taking his spot. Well, I actually think it might be better, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah. How is Nebraska looking health-wise?
Pretty good, really. I can't really think of any major contributors that are out for the year or anything like that. So we're doing pretty good shape injury-wise.
I would love to have that at some point.
No, we're in pretty good shape injury-wise. So I guess, I don't know, shout out to this strength coach and his team. I don't know. That's been something that was for sure an issue under Frost. It seemed like we had, at least 2 or 3 offensive linemen blowing out knees every year that Frost was here. And I think they're doing a good job on that stuff. How about you guys? I'm just curious, what's your thoughts on Coach Smith? Like, what's your thoughts on, Willy kind of made it sound like, you kind of feel okay about how the program's looking in terms of trajectory. And so what do you guys think?
I'll feel a lot better if we win on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the short answer. I think overall the 3 of us are kind of okay with it and can see the progress and that stuff. But like the parts of the fan base, it feels like they're getting a little impatient with the way things are, especially missing a bowl game last year. So they're really kind of like Matt ruled. They're waiting for that signature win, kind of show that we're on track. And we had a lot of chances for it last year. We're not competitive at all in those games. So hopefully something changes with that this year.
Yeah, I think there's almost two sides to the fan base right now. I think a majority, not like 99%, but a solid majority is willing to be patient. But I think there's another portion of the fan base, and I think that's growing a little bit. It's just growing impatient because the team has been pretty bad since 2021. And it's not so much that they've just been bad. They've just been bad in the same way. Like, they can't get any stops on defense. They cannot get off the field on defense. And people are getting really impatient about that. And it's, from my perspective, it's not Jonathan Smith's fault that the defense sucked for 3 years before him.
Yeah.
I think where people are getting upset is that there's no progress. There's like no significant steps forward. Like, people just run down the field wide open. Like, the zones seem very soft. We get beaten man. We get no pressure on the quarterback. So I think people are pretty frustrated by that. And when we play good teams, it's just that we have no chance because we get 45 points.
It's 45-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah.
I think that I also think that people see other programs spending so much money. And for so long, Michigan State was just, like, especially when we went to school, Michigan State was always in the conversation of that, top 10, competing for a conference championship, playoff berth, whatever it may be. And they feel that we should always kind of be in that conversation. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. And I think there's a frustration level too, coming from the amount of money and effort that we're putting into NIL. When you see teams like Texas Tech paying huge numbers, your first thought is, why can't Michigan State do that?
Right.
So I think that's another layer of it, which kind of brings me to an interesting question: where does Nebraska fit in on the NIL, and how are the fans taking to their NIL situation?
I wish I had a really thoughtful and detailed answer for you for that.
That's
like,
okay.
1890 is their collective, and there's basically one kind of power family that's kind of running it, and so like and it's been okay. I don't know if we've spent as much as we want, but I mean, obviously, I mentioned all the portal guys we've got, so I think they got them to pony up a little bit more. I think having Dylan, and granted they're paying, Dylan's getting paid too, but having him, I think, is a little bit more incentive, I guess. Like, hey, yeah, let's go get a couple of receivers for him. Let's go get a left tackle. Let's go do this and that. Honestly, I think that the NIL and the rev share stuff, wherever that lands, is going to benefit Nebraska like crazy. I think, and we've got these brand new amazing facilities. Like, if we get these kids here, and Rule's been really good about it. Like, I've been really impressed with him and his staff in recruiting. They're doing things and embracing social media. And I mean, Rule's got an in-season podcast going, for God's sakes. Like, initially you say that, like, oh, people are going to say, like, well, shouldn't he be worried about coaching the team? Well, like, he's sending, like, recruits, and their parents are seeing that. And, like, all these people are seeing that, and they're getting a feel for what he's like when he's not on the sideline. And they're saying, oh, I could probably hang out with that guy. Dad's thinking I could have a beer with Coach Rule for sure. So he's using things, I think, that we haven't seen here before. And, we come from, oddly enough, it's like Pelini didn't do enough in recruiting. Riley did all right in recruiting, but couldn't coach him on the field. And then Frost, like, God knows what happened there. Like, kind of gave up on recruiting, kind of seemed like he stopped caring the last season and a half. So, like, seeing Rule and how passionate he is about this place, only having been here for, 2.5 years, and the job he's doing, I think it's awesome. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. He's got to win, right? Like, we've been in this spot before. We're like, okay, I feel like we got something cooking. We're 3-1 or we're 4-0, whatever it might be. And then boom, you go 1-3 in October, or boom, you go 1-3 in November. And it's like, okay, now the conversation's different. So yeah, I mean, I feel where you guys are at. I mean, I feel like, if anyone can talk about getting spoiled by a coach, I mean, you guys had D'Antonio for years, and when that's, you don't know what you got till it's gone kind of thing. And we've had that more than once, right? Like, I've lived through Tom Osborne and Frank Solich and Bo Pelini, all these coaches. And like, now I'm looking back like, God, maybe we should have put up with Bo Pelini if we're going to win. We're going to beat everyone we're supposed to beat, but with him, it was, we're greedy as hell. And we can't stomach, a 30-point loss to Wisconsin, who we feels like is on par with us talent-wise, and that's legit too. Yeah, it's and my co-host, really our leader TJ, always talks about that we can't ever let our expectations drop, because that's what's held this place up for so long, even through all the bullshit and all the losing seasons and all that. Yeah, it's our expectations have kind of kept the place going. I mean, the dummies like me who still shell out money for the donation and then the tickets and all that stuff, and still keep showing up, even though you keep getting your heart broken. Now you're dragging your kids along, and they're getting their hearts broken. You're like, what are we doing here? Should I be turned into Child Protective Services? But no, that's what makes college football great, man. It's like, what's the line from we're big Star Wars fans on our podcast. Nice. It's the line from Rogue One. It's the rebellions are built on hope. So when you've got hope, at least if you've got hope, you've got something to like sit down and watch on Saturday for. Even if you're, you always want to be playing for something, and maybe it's just to make a bowl game. That's what it's been for us the last 2 years. Like, let's just get a bowl game. And then just build off it, and then that's all you can ask for as a college football fan, man. If your team looks like they can do some damage at some point and they're giving you hope, that's what it is. So that's the tune of a Nebraska fan that's been through years of heartbreak and PTSD. Yeah,
that doesn't sound too far off from where we've been the past couple of years.
I would love for Jonathan Smith to show the kind of personality that Matt Rule is showing that you were talking about. Yeah, that's another one.
He's pretty stoic, isn't he?
Yeah, incredibly. One of the radio hosts in Detroit compared his personality to a rice cake dipped in water. So,
yeah. Well, he's from the Mike Riley tree, right? Like Mike, we love. For the record, like Mike Riley was a great guy. Like just like you, like he's like your favorite uncle or like your grandpa. Just a great guy, but he just couldn't get it done. Maybe he was too nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like he was kind of that way too. Like Riley was pretty stoic like that on the sidelines. So maybe that's where Coach Smith gets it from, having played for him.
Probably.
Makes sense.
I don't know if stoic's the right word. It's like kind of chill. Like he just always seems like he doesn't. I know he obviously does care, but he just kind of looks like, what you gonna do?
I've never seen
a little more fire. You'd like to see a little more fire.
Yeah. I've never seen him argue a call. I've never seen him get fired up. Like, and I think there's times where that is great, right? But there's also times where I'm like, someone needs to get angry on that sideline.
You need to light a fire in these guys.
Yeah. Zeroing back in on this weekend's game, Matt. You might have touched on it a little bit, but I want to get your biggest concern with Michigan State coming to town. What's your biggest concern that, man, if they do this or we can't do this, then I'm gonna have that heartbreak feeling?
Oh, without question, if they can hit one of those inside or outside zone runs where one of our inexperienced guys isn't in their run gap, it could be an interesting Saturday if they can hit a couple of those like Michigan did. Now, granted, I'm not slandering Michigan State's O-line here. You guys kind of went there already.
Yeah.
They're not the same as Michigan's. Like Michigan's, I told my son, I told anyone who would listen when we're walking back to the car after the game, like, Michigan's been building those trenches for like 10 years or longer. Like whenever Harbaugh got there, like they've been building that trenches, like that, the O-line, D-line factory since then. And so our guys that are, portal fill in for a year or two, or a guy that's a first year starter, they're not gonna hold their weight against Michigan in the trenches. Yeah. So, but if Sparty can get loose in the inside outside zone run game, or if Childs can get loose on, I'm most concerned about him scrambling more than like called quarterback runs. It's more of a scrambling thing that makes me nervous, because they've done pretty well so far in the quarterback run game. It's the off script stuff that makes me nervous.
That is where Childs does most of his damage.
That makes me nervous.
Yeah. Before I let you go, I'm definitely going to let you plug your show, Matt. I want to get your favorite game day tradition in Lincoln?
Oh, well, I'm like Willy said, I'm from the Common Fan Podcast. We are the Nebraska representative of the College Huddle. It's me and two childhood buddies, TJ Burkle and G off Lingenberg. GF's actually kind of famous in the Jim Rome show world. He's G off in Lincoln. I don't know if you or your listeners ever listen. He does a lot of tweets and emails and stuff, and Rome makes fun of him a lot. And it's what he's trying to do. But as far as game day tradition, usually involves me waking up and blasting a like old 90s Husker CD that I got when I was a kid. Nice. And waking my kids up to that. It kind of changes game to game. I don't have a set tailgate that I go to. I do have a good buddy that has a tailgate spot in the Champions Club right across from the stadium. So that's clutch when he's got a couple extra passes. So that's probably my most common pregame hangout is over at the Champions Club. And it's changed a little bit though now because they just started selling beer in Memorial Stadium this season.
Oh wow!
So there's no reentry. So it used to be you go in and watch the first half, you'd pop back out of the tailgate at halftime, crush a couple of beers, go back in the stadium. Now if you leave, you can't go back in. Okay. So that's changed the dynamic a little bit for some. I kind of miss that. Yeah. I don't really like sitting through halftime. The band's great, but I don't need to sit in the stadium and watch the band as good as they are. But so yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything crazy special. I do usually try to get a runza in the stadium. If you guys have ever been to Lincoln, runza is like a regional. My co-host, he slanders it and calls it a glorified hot pocket or a cabbage hot pocket, but it's this bun, and inside of it is this spiced ground beef and cooked cabbage, and it sounds way worse than it is. It's fantastic. So if you ever come to Lincoln, get yourself a runza. Okay. And if it's a cold game, even better, because they make great hand warmers too.
Good to know. I'm dying to get to Lincoln for a game. Matt, we really appreciate your time. Thanks again for coming on. Before I let you go, I know I said my last question was the last question, but I want to get a prediction. Final score.
I'm gonna go 41-27 Nebraska. Hammer the over.
There you go. I like it.
It will probably be closer than that, but that's my
no, that sounds about right. Matt, thanks again for coming on. We really appreciate it. We'll definitely hope to speak to you soon, and wishing you the best of luck.
Sounds
every
good.
Other week except this week.
That's right. Same here, guys. Been a pleasure. Good luck to you guys this Saturday and the rest of the way.
Likewise, Matt. Thanks again.
You bet. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Yep. All right. Thanks again to Matty Owens of the Common Fan Podcast. Really appreciate him coming on and giving some insight there on Nebraska football. Let's preview the game a little bit from the Spartans' perspective. Nicky, I'll start with you. Where's your head at as we head into this one?
Ooh, man, I'm just not going to be in a good mood. On Saturday. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. Until we win.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous that we're going to it could go either way. Like last year after Iowa off a bye week, we played the best game of our season, but I don't know why. I've been hearing people say things like it feels like we lost the bye week. Like
what the hell?
It just feels like we might be bracing for some suckage that we have really been dreading, and I'm really nervous, to be honest. I'm nervous about Saturday.
We lost a positive host on our podcast.
No, I'm nervous too. After seeing those Nebraska defense numbers, I'm like, I don't know. And the offense is good in its own right, but the defense does very well as well. Travis, what about you?
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I mean, obviously, with the passing game, I think our only shot in this one is to make it a track meet, honestly. Like, our pass defense is not going to catch up, especially with Dylan Raiola in the arm that he has. I mean, they talk about him like a gunslinger and like risky passes and everything like that, and like not living up to the hype. He's thrown 11 touchdown passes and only one interception this year.
Yeah,
I mean that's crazy.
And that's in the trials. So
yeah. But then their the fact that their passing defense has been so good.
Yeah.
Against these, I mean, now they haven't played incredible passing offenses, but that's been the best part of our offense has been our passing attack with Childs and those receivers and Childs ad-libbing and making those scramble plays.
Yeah.
So it's very, very concerning. I was surprised to hear Matt say that they weren't happy with their running game. It seemed like, looking at the stats, they should be kind of happy with their running game the way they are. So that kind of, especially after the way we played the run against USC, that kind of stood out to me when I was looking at the prep for this game and everything like that.
Yeah. I just don't know. Before I started looking into the game, I was like, oh, we got a chance in this one. Now, like, looking at the stats, I'm like, and I know, look, they played Michigan. Okay. Their other games are against Cincinnati, Akron, and Houston Christian. So Cincinnati, Power 5, they're better than
3-1 right now.
Yeah.
They're 3-1 right now. That's their only loss.
And that was a close game. That was the first game of the year. Akron, that was 68-0.
Yeah.
And Houston Christian 59-7. So like a lot of those numbers are probably slightly inflated. They played Michigan really tough, I thought. But my only hope is that the defense somehow, with a bye week, has a good game plan and they execute it well. And the offense can put up points. I mean, it's either going to be you're either going to win via a track meet, like you said, Travis, or the defense has to pull one out of their ass. And my hopes of that happening are not high.
It's also Nebraska's homecoming game. So
great. That's nice. No,
if their run defense is bad and we can establish the run, that will make our passing game way easier.
True.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've played this. People might get offended. I don't think they've played a QB as good as Childs this year.
No.
Or a receiver as good as Marsh or O'Kelly.
True. I think it's valid.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about establishing the running game because it hasn't been as good the past couple weeks as it was those first two games.
Yeah, and the offense
especially wasn't good against Youngstown, which is frightening.
Yeah,
I take Youngstown as just ignore that, just pretend that one didn't happen. And USC, Frazier wasn't 100%, and
I think that's fair, but at the same time, I don't feel like the holes were there as often as they were in the first two either.
Yeah.
There's some work to be done for sure on the offensive line.
I mean, we haven't had a good offensive line since our senior year, basically.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. That's a scary thought. Is there any version of this game in which we don't win that you guys would be okay with?
No.
So must win.
They're all must wins if we're being.
Yeah, and this one's a big one. I think this is kind of like Iowa last year. It's like, if you don't win this one, I don't know what happens next.
I think this one, the winner is saying we're that much further ahead of you in the rebuilding process.
Yeah. It's two teams that both are desperate for anything.
Yeah.
And for them, this probably doesn't even seem like that much.
Right. I was going to say it's probably bigger game for us than it is for them.
Especially going on the road and our road record against them. Like that's
yeah.
The only team in our history that has won on the road at Nebraska was that Rose Bowl team in 2013.
I don't think we're as good as them.
So one of the best teams we ever saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lincoln's not an easy place to play. I mean, they've the Nebraska fans, that's every Saturday is their Super Bowl. That's their team.
I would love to go to a game there. I've heard incredible things.
Yeah, we'll get there. I am committed to going to a game there eventually. Any other thoughts? I mean, we talked a lot about it with Matt. Kind of gave our thoughts here. Any other thoughts on Nebraska?
I mean, what the hell is up with Dylan Rayola? I'm not like the Jeff. I'm really pounding that all Saturday.
It really is I don't really even know the right word. The word I want to use is probably not appropriate, but it's he plays it off like he doesn't do the Mahomes thing, but if he just owned it and said, "Yeah, he's my favorite player. I want to be just like him," I think a lot of people would be like, "Oh, Okay.
Yeah,
We don't
sure.
move up.
Makes sense. Adds up. Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Savant of the week.
Yeah.
What we're getting to here.
Yes. The savant of the week is 4-star basketball commit Jervis Event.
I think you just mixed two of them together. Yeah. I think
There
Jervis
we go.
is the other guy's last
Somebody
name.
else.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family, Julius. A big land. I mean, Izzo just keeps doing the recruiting thing, man. He's on it.
Yeah. And
No.
what he did was he landed a guy over 2 basketball only schools.
Yeah.
It's just
That's nice.
pretty impressive.
Yeah. That's nice. Well, congratulations on Savant of the Week, Julius Event.
Yes. If you're a high school athlete listening to this, just know if you commit to Michigan State, your chances of being savant of the week skyrocket.
It could be you. That's right. Anything you guys want to talk about, like nationally wise college football? I mean, I don't really think there's. Last week has great scheduled games, some good upsets. That Oregon Penn State game was great. James Franklin just could not get it done.
I love the duck noise.
He just cannot get it done.
Big game, James, baby.
Yeah,
I think I read he's like 15-29 against ranked teams in his career, something like that.
it's not good.
And honestly,
And
like,
it's like 4-21 against the top 10.
it honestly might be worse.
I could
Like, imagine if we just went 10-2, but lost to Michigan every year for 10 years.
That would suck.
That would drive me to insanity.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I mean, it probably would be better than than where we're at now, because 10-2 still is a good season. But you're right. I mean, that would be really frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, time for the picks.
Let's do it.
All right, the train moves on to week 6. Before we get into the week 6 picks, go last week. Nicky, nice week, 10-3. She came up a little short at 9-4. Travis at 5-8, and still listing himself as irrelevant.
Well, I got worse than last week, so it kind of has to stay the same. I'll change it back once I actually get in within striking distance, if I ever do.
There you go.
Maybe just do the opposite of what you think this week.
There you go. That's never a bad idea. So first place for me at 41-31. Nicky just behind at 40-32, and then Travis at 31-41. Travis, I give 16 picks this week though, so this is a good week for you to bounce back.
Never fully out of it, but I mean, I went with it last week and I got worse, so I can't.
Well, good week. That's all you need. Our first game this week is in Athens, Georgia. The Kentucky Wildcats are traveling to take on the 12th ranked Georgia Bulldogs. A big number here. Georgia favored by 20.5.
Georgia.
Yeah, I think Georgia's pissed off after the Alabama loss. I am going to go with Georgia as well. 14th ranked Iowa State travels to Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored here by 1.5.
I'm big on Iowa State this year, as you guys know. So Cyclones.
I'll go Cincinnati. Why not?
I'm taking the Cyclones as well. The Wisconsin Badgers travel to the House of Sins, the hellhole in Ann Arbor, to take on the 20th ranked Michigan Wolverines, better known as the team down the road. Michigan favored by 17.5.
I feel like I have to do the unthinkable here, and I really don't want to. So I'm not going to say it out loud, but you know what I'm getting at.
All right, I gotcha.
You know what? Give me Wisconsin. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to assume that his wife won't be here because of the culture at Michigan.
Well, I would think so. Yeah. Practice what she preaches. I'm going with Trav too. I'm taking the team down the road. Wisconsin is just struggling.
They're so bad.
Boston College, a team that's not doing us any favors, travels to the city on the hill to take on the Pitt Panthers. Pitt favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I guess I'll take Pitt.
It's just funny how bad Boston College.
I mean, Stanford, Cal, who'd they lose to? I mean, they can't beat anybody.
So I guess I'll go Pitt.
Stanford and Cal. Jeez, I'm going to go Pitt too. I mean, Boston College is. I thought that quarterback was going to take them to a pretty good season, but they have not done good. All right, Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers traveling to Chapel Hill to take on Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Clemson favored here by 13.5.
Clemson's been really bad. I don't think they cover. I think, but they don't think they cover.
I think UNC's even worse, so I do think Clemson covers.
Yeah, I am with Nicky here. It's been a disaster start for Bill Belichick. I'm going to go with Clemson as well. Okay, West Virginia, the Mountaineers traveling to BYU to take on the 23rd ranked Cougars. BYU favored here by 18.5.
That seems like a lot. I was ready to take BYU, but I'll go with West Virginia.
I will go BYU.
I'm going to go West Virginia, almost heaven. I'm going to go with Mountaineers there to cover that one. Kansas State at Baylor. Baylor favored by 6.5.
Yeah, that Kansas State team's bad. I'll go Baylor.
I'll go KSU.
I'm going to go with Baylor as well. With Travi, I have not been impressed by Kansas State. Okay, ninth ranked Texas Longhorns traveling to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators. I don't know why I got that so mixed up there. Texas favored here by 6.5.
Yeah, Texas. Florida's been really bad.
I mean, Florida's got to do something eventually, right?
Yeah.
They're 1-3. They're calling Billy Napier Sunbelt Billy.
I think Texas wins. I think Florida covers. It'll be close, but no cigar for the Gators. Okay, Vanderbilt coming in ranked 16th behind the play of Diego Pavia at quarterback. Travels to Tuscaloosa along with College Game Day to take on the 10th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Vanderbilt, if you remember, upset Alabama last year. Alabama favored here by 6.5.
I'm gonna take a risk here and say it goes closer.
All right.
So
I'll go do the same. Vandy.
All right. I think redemption on Saturday for Alabama. I'm taking them to cover the spread. Boise State at 21st ranked Notre Dame. Notre Dame favored here by 19.5.
Boise covers. Notre Dame wins.
Notre Dame covers and wins, obviously.
I've got Notre Dame here as well. Okay. Louisville is 6.5-point favorites as they travel to Charlottesville, Virginia to take on the 24th ranked Virginia Cavaliers coming off a big win against Florida State. Like I said, Louisville favored by 6.5.
I'll throw Virginia a bone at home.
And this is the ultimate Virginia just getting blown out game.
Yeah, it is. But I got to make up points here.
I would, Nicky. I think a big letdown here for Virginia. I'm going to take the Cardinals in this one. Going over the Big Ten here, Washington Huskies traveling to Maryland to take on the Terrapins. Washington favored by 6.5.
I'll go Maryland. You're traveling across the country.
I'm doing the same.
I'm taking Washington. They look pretty good this year. Okay, heading back to the Big 12. The 11th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders travel to Houston to take on the Cougars. Texas Tech favored by 10.5.
Yeah, Texas Tech has a really great offense. I think they're number 2 in scoring offense this year, so I'll go Texas Tech.
Same. Give me Tech.
I've got the Red Raiders as well. Everyone's got their guns up here at the Spartan Savants podcast. Okay, a big one in my backyard. The third-ranked Miami Hurricanes travel to Tallahassee, Florida's great capital, to take on the 18th-ranked Florida State Seminoles. Florida State obviously coming off a tough loss against Virginia. Miami favored here by 4.5.
I'm going to go Miami. They've been impressive so far.
Every time I throw Florida State a bone, they lose. So I'll go Miami.
Nice, thank you.
And I say over 15.5 beers that Willy drinks at the tailgate.
Safe bet. That one will pay out. I'm going to go Florida State. I don't know if they'll win. I think it'll be a close one, though. I think that was a wake-up call last week in Virginia. They'll bounce back this week. All right, the granddaddy of them all, the Michigan State Spartans, are traveling just slightly west to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln. Both teams coming off a bye, like we discussed. Nebraska favored here by 11.5.
I am going to say, do we want score prediction and over right now, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go 41-37 Spartans. Just on a limb.
I'm going to go 38-24 Spartans. Our defense, a lot of our guys get better. Jalen Satchel's playing. Maybe he was the key piece that we've been missing.
Let's see here. I am going to go. I don't know, man. The Nebraska defensive numbers are scaring me a little bit. I'll go. You know what? I'll stick with my original pick. 31-27 Spartans. So everyone has MSU covering, and everyone has over on the over-under, which is 47.5. You know what? I forgot to do the Lions. 17th pick, Travis. Here you go. Lions-Bengals. Let me get that spread quickly. I'm assuming we'll all pick the Lions, but just for record-keeping purposes, Lions are on the road, favored by 10.5.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals are playing backup quarterback, and they just got their ass absolutely destroyed by the Broncos on Monday Night Football. So if the Lions don't cover with that, then we got a problem.
All right.
You know, I'll throw it for the Lions are going to win, obviously. I'll let the Bengals cover. Jonathan Smith product, Jake Browning.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one. 10.5 points on the road. I'll take the Lions. Why the hell not? That will do it for episode 69 of the Spartan Savants podcast. Shout out to the College Huddle for having us as their Michigan State representative. Again, thanks to Matt Owens from the Common Fan podcast for coming on. As far as our podcast, like, subscribe, comment, 5-star rating, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, and all the good stuff. But for Nicky and Travi, we'll sign us off. Go green.
Go white.
Right.